G'day, Ben from Duck Plain Chicken here with a new build video. This one is the Goodsmile company under the Moderoid label kit of Golion, Beast King Golion. So if, like me, you grew up in Australia or the States or UK, you might be familiar with Lion Force Voltron. This is the original. So Golion, Beast King Golion came out I think in 81 or 82, I think it was. And the original series is a lot more, I think, a lot more interesting. It's a lot darker than what they did to it to convert it to Voltron for the West. So it's definitely worth checking out if you can. Now, this model kit, it has no scale on it, so I'm not sure what sort of scale it's supposed to be, but it will be reasonably large given the size of the box is quite thick and substantial. It does, of course, transform, so you get the five lions that join to make up Golion. And for this kit, because the last series I did had a lot of painting, a lot of masking, this one I'm just going to snap together and throw some stickers on it. It's unlikely I'll ever get around to painting it, and to be perfectly honest, I've actually got quite a few sort of toys and models of Voltron Golion, and also the Vehicle Force Voltron, which was Diruga 15 if I remember rightly. So, and I haven't painted any of those, they're just kind of toys and stuff. So this one, I don't have a problem with the fact that I'm not painting it. I tend to find that kits that require lots of transformations, when you paint them, you don't tend to sort of transform them because it scratches the paint and that sort of thing. So this one, involves quite a bit of transformation in order to make Golion, so I'm just not really going to paint this one up. Alright, first thing is show you what's in the box. Let's start off with some of the black sprues. So there's F. It's a pretty sort of standard affair. There's a little bit of detail on there. I suspect this is going to be quite large. Now, one thing that is interesting is there are some pre-painted parts. So you can sort of see that's half of the black lion's face, and you can see the eye painted on there. So there are some parts that actually have some painting already, so you don't need to worry about stickers. But here we've got sort of main parts of the black lion. The green lion only gets sort of one sprue of the green. Now what's interesting is this head doesn't have any pre-painted eyes on it, so it does have stickers, I believe, that will do that. Also the nose. There are parts here for the main body of Golion by the look of it, the wings, and some other details that may actually go on the black lion. For the red lion, you've got the body parts. Again, I'm just trying to see where is the head of the red lion is here, and again there's no sort of pre-painting on that head. So it's interesting they've done pre-painting on the black lion's head, but not on the others, it appears. So here we've got the yellow lion. Again, there's no sort of pre-painting on the eyes. And there's a few sort of extra yellow parts, yellow sprues. Let's go through these quickly. They're not super detailed. There's not like a lot going on these parts. A lot of the detail is sort of just the fact that it's made up of different colour parts. And we have, for white parts, we have two of these sprues. Looks like it's part of the leg. And some other connector parts or detail parts. Not sure what these parts will be. We'll find out soon enough. Here we've got, again, another pre-painted part. So if I'm not mistaken, that's the belt, and the belt of Golion, I think. So again, it's interesting that some of it's pre-painted and other bits aren't. We've got blue parts, and this is part of the sword if I remember rightly, and again that's sort of pre-painted. It's kind of interesting. We get a lot of these sort of It's almost metallic, sort of metallic grey, but obviously a lot of the leg parts. Some sort of more detailed bits here in the same sort of grey. These look like front legs with the claws. And then finally we get a couple of sprues that have the weapons. So we have the big sword, a few other sort of details, and again more of the weapons that the lions sort of carry. So we get this nice set of instructions. It's in full colour. It's a fold out type, and these instructions sort of cover the individual assembly of each lion. So it's all in full colour, which is great. And then we also get a what they call an assembly guide, which is just the transformation of each of the lions, and so how you combine them to make Golion. So some details about equipping the different weapons. So that's a separate thing, and then you get this call out here, which is call out for all the stickers, which is nice. Open it up, you've got a call out to all the sprues, just to make sure that you've got all the sprues. And of course, if you're in Japan, you can order extra sprues if one's broken or you lose one. And on the back, there's just some really nice shots of the completed kit. Looks like it's reasonably posable, so it'll be interesting to see how well it looks. Finally, we have the sticker sheet, and you can see there's not like a lot of stickers there. Obviously the numbers, some details for the eyes, the nose, and a few other sort of small bits. So for me, I won't be worrying about painting it. I'll just apply these stickers. So at least you'll get to see what it looks like just out of the box. Alright, so next step for me is to clip out all these parts and start doing some cleaning up and getting ready for assembly. Okay, I've cleaned up all the parts, and now I'm going to start with the assembly of the black lion. And the instructions call out to start with the head. So we have the pre-painted eyes part, and that goes into this piece here. So you can see the very iconic face of Golion. Then we have this piece, clips in, and of course there is the the hinge mechanism that makes up part of the transformation. We've got part of the head made up by two halves with the ball joint at the back. So we join those together. We then get one of these side pieces. So again, this has got the pre-painted details on it. This part. Oh, I see. So it looks like there's this sling. Yeah, so it looks like that white part sort of just slots in there, and then we have let's see, this bit goes up underneath somehow. How does that work? Oh, I see. So there's a peg and a hole corresponding there. So you have the muzzle of the lion, and then this bit looks like it goes in here somewhere. Oops. Not sure how far that's supposed to go. Oh, there we go. Okay, and let's put this bit back. So it looks like everything sort of just gets, lined up, and then you sandwich it all together, because the next bit is the other half of the face, I guess, of the line. Let's make sure we get this around the right way. You want to line up all these little holes and corresponding pegs for the hinge mechanism. That seems to have worked pretty well. It seems to have gone straight in. So we can see the opening mouth. That's pretty cool. And then we have this little red forehead piece. And one thing I can already talk about with this kit, even though I haven't built it yet, is the colour separation as far as parts go is fantastic. There are literally only very small sort of detail areas where they've either pre-painted or we need stickers. There's a lot of colour separation that's done on this kit that is done with the actual parts themselves. Okay, and these clip in, and make sure I've got them in the right way. So for the ears, we've got to try and get, there's two little nubs there, so I assume it'll just snap into place, but getting it lined up is a little bit tricky. Yeah, so it's just a good sort of solid press fit. Okay, make sure I've got this one in the right way. Make sure you got it lined up, and then snap, in it goes. So there we have the ears opening up, and the mouth revealing the face. Onto the torso. We've got this piece here. Actually, let's get these pieces in first. I believe these hold the legs in place. And they do only go, they do go a specific way. Helpful, I've got them up the right way. There we go. So it's a bit hard to see they're black, but they've got this slot that matches up with the protrusion, so those bits sit nice and flush. And then we get this bit in here, like so. We have the next piece with this yellow detail that goes on here. It doesn't appear to be, doesn't matter which way the yellow bit goes on by the look of it. We've got this piece here which slots into this hole, and then that all goes into this assembly here. So it also slides in place. Now, so far the fit of these pieces is really good. It's really tight. I'm not using any glue or anything, but I think it'll hold really well. I don't think it actually needs glue. Okay, then we flip it over. We've got this red piece which makes up the sort of shield, part of the shield. And you can already see sort of clues to the way they do the shield logo in the middle. It's all parts separated, which is fantastic. So we've got this little yellow bit with the cross on it and the crown. And that slots in there like that. And then we have this bit which goes over the top. Does it go to the top? Have I messed up somewhere? That's because it goes the other way. It goes the other way. That's better. I mean, how cool is that? That's all parts separated. And we have a little blue part of the crest, and then this really fiddly little green piece. go. Okay, so got that little green detail. But the fact that they're all separate bits, you know, if you wanted to paint up this kit, it would make it really easy to do. Alright, now we start to make the wings. So we've got 2 pieces. Of course it folds over, like so. And then it's got a swivel part here that will mount it to the shoulders. So I'll do this one, goes that way, like so. Flip that over. And pop this piece in. Okay, then we attach them to the torso. Attach them up here. Okay. So we pop in like so. Of course, they should rotate out, you know, and they'll open up. So that all works really well. And what's really nice is there's a really sort of positive hold on those pieces. Like they're not, you know, it's nothing's flapping around. Everything feels really nice and solid. Okay, and we've got this piece here. This piece. They match up like so. We have this red detail bit going underneath. And again, you know, this is another area. They didn't have to do this. They could have sort of painted this in, but they've created a separate piece for it, which is always welcome. Okay, and then we've got the tail. Yeah, so the tail can only go sort of one way as far as the pivot goes, but even just the subtlety of the curve of the tail, that's kind of cool. And we've got these parts which attach to the pelvis. Go have to get the other one in first. That, get the tail in, and again I apologise for the cockatoos that you're probably hearing in the background. Make a hell of a racket. Okay, and join this up here like so. So we've sandwiched in the pivot of the tail. And then no, I've got this bit here and another ball joint. So this pokes through here. Oh no, we've got to put this piece through it first. So like an axle piece, it's got a little rectangular tab here. And you can poke that through, and that rectangular tab on each side matches up with the slots. So there's, once that's clamped in, there'll be a little bit of rotation there, which is kind of cool. Okay, so we go back to our previous bit and we move this up, the tail out. So this is starting to look a lot more like the pelvis. And then we sandwich all this in together. Yeah, so you got a little bit of rotation of the torso from the pelvis. It's not going to be a lot, but it's something. Okay, and then we have the belt, which goes in here, which is pre-painted. So there we go. Alright, so next we're doing the right foreleg. And I think I'll just show you one of the forelegs and then I'll build the other one off camera. I don't think you need to see me do it twice. Select this piece. So there's a couple of small tabs here. And it just snaps into place. And so you've got this sort of hinge detail. That seems to work pretty well. And then we take this bit. Again, we've got this great colour separation of the parts. So separate yellow detail. He's saying to put it in from the back. And there's this top detail bit. Okay, now part of the, make sure I've got this in the right way. There's this sort of the silver part, and his paw, and then this will get sandwiched together in here. Yep, that works pretty well. So I'm guessing, I could be wrong here, but I'm guessing that the leg sort of folds up into, part of it folds up into the thigh there. Alright, so a couple of things I can point out. I've already pointed out the fact that, all the parts are colour separated really nicely, but when I was cutting out the piece I did notice there are some parts that are sort of hollowed out. So if you are really serious about this kit and sort of making it look the best it possibly can be, there's going to be a bit of filling of some of these gaps. Now this is obviously a bit of a cost saving exercise. It also means that, it makes it easier to set up the molds and stuff. They're not making these out of solid plastic. So just keep in mind there are some parts, they tend to be sort of unseen. So that's like on the inside of the leg. So in most cases you're probably not even going to see it or notice it, but just be aware of that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and build the left foreleg. Alright, both of the front legs have been done. Now it's time for the hind legs. So we've got the shoulder pieces. We've got this pivot part. And it is asymmetrical, so you can see it's got a long peg and a short peg, and so the instructions do call out, make sure you've got it around the right way. That's a nice tight fit there, and got this nice little detail goes on the end here. Then we've got two long parts of the leg, and there's another join, pivot part that slots in there, and again it's an asymmetrical part, so you just want to make sure you've got it around the right way. We have the, you'd call it the shin. Let's do it that way. So the shin fits on like that, and then this goes together like so. We have paw. Oh, I tell you what, one thing to be aware of though is if you're going to paint this kit, you might want to do a lot of trimming of pegs and stuff, because everything is a really tight fit, and I would really not like to know what it's like trying to pull these bits apart once you put them together without sort of trimming pegs or making it easier to pull apart the pieces. So we've got this white bit that folds over the top there, and then we have this part. I've already gone ahead and done the other one, so we now have the two hind legs. So now we can start to sort of put this together. Alright, so you see these holes here, you see how there's a little key there. There's a key on these pegs for the front legs. So I need to make sure you get them sort of lined up properly. Wait if I get it around the right way. Let's try this one. So it goes in, and then you can swing it around, and that locks it in place, stops it coming out. Okay, do the other one. Again, swing it around, lock it in place. And then we take the rear part of the body and attach the rear legs. Okay. I'm going to try and match up with what they've got in the instructions. Probably not going to be too close, but anyway, we'll see. Then we take the front and the back and join that all up, and that's a good positive connection. Again, there's that little bit of hinge action there, which is really nice. Going to make it easier to sort of pose this guy. And of course, let's not forget his head. That's going to take a little bit of effort to get that in. Okay, so the last thing we've got is to put his weapon in his mouth. So we open up his mouth. I think we have to move the face to the top of the mouth. And then there is a peg in the weapon and a matching slot in the mouth to hold it in place. And that, my friends, is very cool. So he's incredibly poseable. Got lots of points of articulation, so there's no shortage of ways of making this thing look great on a shelf. So yeah, very cool. Very cool indeed. Okay, on to the next lion. Alright, on to the red lion, and again we are starting with the head. Now this one unfortunately does not have the pre-painted eyes, so for that we will need to apply some stickers. I might leave the stickers till the end though. And we have the lower jaw. And that all joins up like so. Again, we've got the working mouthpiece, which is really nice. Got what looks like it's going to be the joining part of the middle of the line. Trying to work out if there's a right way or a wrong way with this piece. I don't think it actually matters. Of course, we'll find out once we've stuck it all together. Okay, this gets sandwiched. These parts here. Alright. And then we've got these additional parts that sandwich on the other part of the hinge mechanism, and again we've got a really nice sort of tight fitting joint that's not going to go all floppy on you and, you know, cause sag in the line or anything like that. Okay, then we've got this piece which connects in here, and everything slots in together really well. You know, it seems really well engineered. Okay, then we've got the tail. The tail is just 2 pieces that snap together. And then we slot that into this back piece here. We have this piece which slots into one of these holes, and obviously that's going to hide the tail, I assume, and it's part of the transformation. And then we flip it around. We have this bit here. Yeah, so that piece slots in there like so, and then this all sandwiches it together. Make sure your pins are all lined up before you squeeze it together. Okay. Alright, that folds all the way down. Okay, then we have these parts here, and they do appear to have a right way and a wrong way. So there's 2 little slots in there, and you can see the slots on corresponding slots to these. So we'll line those up. I assume there's going to be a bit of a sliding action there. And we clamp that up. We have this piece, and then this bit slides in like so. Okay. And it goes like that. And then we have this red bit here. Instructions call out for it to go a very specific way. And again, there's some grooves in here and some corresponding tabs. So I'll make sure we get that around the right way. This bit's gonna give me grief, I think. Let's see if we can squeeze that in place. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, next we get onto the right foreleg, and so we've got these 2 pieces here. We've got this bit goes on the knuckle, I guess, bit or elbow goes on the back, and then we have this. Is it a forepaw? The forearm. Okay, and then the paw, and so there we have the right leg, and I've already made the left leg. Onto the hind legs, and the hind legs are only made of 3 pieces. So this one, this bit here, and then the paw. Okay, so with that, and I've already done the other one. So one last thing to do is we've got the body here, and there's this black collar piece which goes on here. Okay, they say put the head on upside down. I guess that's to get the angle right, and then you can turn it around. Yeah, so there's that little sliding action there. That's cool. Alright, let's fold that down. We can put the forelegs on. Now, I want to make sure we get these around the right way. These hind legs. Alright, let's get him lined up. Now, of course, he is missing his weapon. Alright, now for his weapon, we have two, what seems like really redundant little parts that sort of go into these blades and blade handle. They just pop in like so. Of course, once you've got them in, it is unlikely you're going to get them out again. So if you're going to paint them a different colour or something like that, then you probably want to paint them first and then put them in place. There we go. Again, you can open up the mouth and there is a hole in the top of the mouth with a corresponding peg in the weapon. So we'll get this in place. There we go. And so that's nice and firm. So there we have our red line. Okay, I built the green line off camera because as soon as I started building it, I realised that the construction of it is exactly the same as the red line. The only difference here is these detail bits. You can see slightly different shaping. The green line tends to be a little bit rounder in places, but the assembly is absolutely identical. The same legs, the same sort of head format, and all that sort of thing. Mind you, while I was doing that, I did work out a couple of other things too about the, I guess the posability. So I was thinking it sort of looked a bit long because I had this popped out like that, and I thought, oh, it looks a bit narrow in the waist, you know. But it does, of course, slide in, which I didn't do before. So it should slide in and pop out like that, and it also rotates a little bit. So obviously some of that's going to come into play when it transforms into Golion. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight that because I didn't when I was building the red line. So of course the green line does have a a different weapon, but essentially the assembly is identical for these two lines. And I suspect it's probably the case for the blue and the yellow line, that they are very similar as well. So speaking of which, onto the blue line. Onto the blue line, and like the ones that preceded it, we start with the head. So this is interesting. This joint here, it sort of goes in on an angle by the look of it. So that's the only way that sort of sits in there. That seems a little odd. So we need to put in the bottom jaw and then sandwich all of this together. Yeah, so it seems quite odd how that sort of sticks up there like that. Okay, now we slide in the top component. How does that work? Well, if I got the right piece. So that's the top of the mouth. And this goes over the top. So, and again, the eyes aren't pre-painted on this one, so I'll have to apply the stickers to it. Okay, now we move on to, I guess, part of the body. This black part goes over here, and this little part, there's like a little hinge. I think that's supposed to snap in place. Yep, snaps into place and hold there like that. Then we move on to this part. There's a peg with a flange on it. Slides into there like so. So you can sort of see that. How that slides in, and then we sandwich that on here somehow. Let's see, you got that. So something like that, and then we have this other piece that slides on as well. Okay, so far so good. Let's see, we've got these little black plates that go over here. So again, nice bit of separation of the colours through the use of the different parts, different coloured parts. Alright, let me make the tail. Because again, as with most of the other lions, the tail is just a two-piece affair with a hinge on it. Move that to the side. We take this piece here and does it go like that? So there's actually two nubs here, one goes in the hole, the other one is on a sort of a bit of a track. If I take this off, you can see the track in there. Okay, that pointing out the back, and we image all this together somehow. Yes, I think there's a bit of slowing action in there. Tail. There's the end here. And we sandwich all of this together. Just making sure those pegs will line up before you squeeze it together tightly, because you don't want to be breaking any of the pegs. Right, get a good squeeze together. So it looks like there is a little bit of movement there for the what will end up being the ankle. Okay, and as I do that, you'll notice that these two parts sort of start to separate, but in the next step we have this red piece that actually sort of clamps it all together, which is really nice. There we go. Yeah, so that sort of holds those two pieces tightly together, which is good. And then we have this little piece also slots on the back. Okay, again, it sort of holds these two bulk blue pieces in place. And we've got this bit covers all of that. There we go. Stick the head on here. Ooh, that's tight. Anyway, moving on to the right foreleg. Like most of the other legs, this is sort of three parts in the metallic looking, well, it's got a little bit of metallic look to it, but really it's sort of a grey plastic. So I've already got the other one done. Let's move on to the rear leg, hind leg. So again, we've got these pieces in together like that, and like that, and again I've already done the other one. So let's attach these legs. And again, we have the little hole on the top of the mouth to hold the weapon, which is really good. Okay, so this this blue line has a bit of posability, quite a bit of sort of articulation. Usual affair with the legs. The head can sort of tilt up and tilt down. And then there's this bit here which folds open, which I'm not sure what the function of that is, but I guess we'll find out once we start transforming it. Like the other lines, this is really well engineered. Pieces go together beautifully. Color separation is great. So looking at the instructions, the yellow line is constructed exactly the same way. So I'll do that off camera and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so there are a couple of small differences in the assembly of the yellow line, and it's mainly in the back here, but essentially you've still got the two main halves of the body and they're being clamped together by this red piece and this white piece. And of course there's the weapon mounted on the back, but really the assembly of it is identical. The weapon of course is different. It actually comes in two pieces. So just got to join that up there. And then again there is the obligatory peg and corresponding hole in the mouth to hold the weapon. So there's the yellow line. Now before, when I was building the blue line, I sort of thought, oh, there's an issue with the head, it doesn't seem to bend enough, and I should have sort of looked at my parts and the instructions, because you actually have to build different heads that snap on or replace the existing heads when you transform it into Golion. So for the blue lion, we have, let's see, the bottom part here. You'll notice the mouth is all one piece, there's no articulation, so this will be the line that you use as the foot once it's transformed. Put the top part on, and there's also a yellow piece. That's underneath. So that's a little bit disappointing. So far this model's been fantastic, but the fact that you've got to sort of swap out the heads for the transformation, yeah, I mean, it's certainly not a deal breaker, but it's a bit disappointing. Okay, again, no painted eye parts here, so we will have to use the stickers. So that's one of the heads. Now for the yellow head, it's a similar affair. We have the muzzle piece, the mouth that is molded in white and just one piece. We have this back insert. And we have two side bits. Okay, the first weapon we get is the solar combat spears, which are basically just slotted together as such. Okay, so just the two pieces, and then we have the I guess the attachment points here. So that's the first weapon. The next one is the blazing sword, and we have this emblem here is pre-painted, and then we have these tiny little red buttons that sort of slot in. If you're painting this, it's certainly going to be a lot easier than masking these things. And then we have a larger one that slots in the bottom here. Okay, so that makes part of the sword there, and then we have the actual blade itself. This sandwiches in like so, and I need to put this part together. So we have again another little red button that sort of slides in there, and this part goes on the back. actually good. No. Just sandwiches in there. Now, look, it seems to be holding okay, just sort of friction fit, but I'm almost be inclined to put some glue in there just to hold that. It's reasonably light, but I reckon it won't take much for this to actually come off. Yeah, that's one impressive sword, that's for sure. So that's cool. And the next bit is the spinning laser blade. Okay, we have the handle, and then this right angle section goes onto the top there. Then that goes into this yellow cross, and then this plugs into the back of the spinning laser part, back of the blade, I should say. And we have that. Fantastic. Before we get into the transformation, I need to apply stickers. I forgot about that, so I'm going to do that first. And they give you sort of a separate call out sheet for all the stickers, which is kind of helpful. So I'm going to start with these wings here, and if we sort of fold these out, actually I might be easier to take them off. There we go, so that's going to be easier. I was just going to talk about, the method I sort of use for stickers. I mean, there's lots of people out there who sort of talk about, the best way for applying stickers. For me, it's really just about having a good knife. You can use a hobby knife. I like the scalpel because it's nice and thin. And I'll use a cotton bud just to burnish the sticker down. So our first one we have is number 41, and even though on the instructions it looks like this is grey, but it's actually white. So you want to get your blade and just get the corner of it, just lift it out very lightly like that. And of course it is a matter of lining it up in the corner, obviously getting it into place. And I can see I just missed it a little bit. Okay, so when I'm happy with the location of it, I can just gently burnish it down, starting from the middle, working my way out. Now it appears these stickers are reasonably thick. Okay, so they seem to have gone down reasonably well. So if I go to the other side, so again, it's just about sort of starting the sticker up by the corner. Going to gently remove it from the knife. So if I just take that off and get it lined up where you need it to be before pressing it down. There we go, I'm pretty happy with that. Just a slight adjustment. Okay, and finish that down. Now, I should say, just based on these two stickers I've done here, the cut of them is actually really accurate. So it does actually fit into that space really well. Sometimes, if you do stickers, they might be a little bit larger than the space they need to go into, but this is almost spot on. So very happy about that. Alright, let's move on to something that's maybe a bit trickier, which is like one of the eye decals. So on the larger blue lion head, we have a number of stickers. Let's start with the eyes. So we want 31. Let's have a look at that first. So, and again, it's just to sort of check to see how good the the cut of them is. Yeah, that's pretty good. Actually, I might use a cotton bud here. Yeah, these stickers are lining up beautifully. I'm not usually a fan of stickers, as any of my long time watchers would know, but that fills the space perfectly. Yeah, most stickers I tend to find, they've got extra around the sides and they don't necessarily fit, in place properly. So, hopefully. Okay, and again, just burnish it down. Okay, that looks pretty convincing. Pretty happy with that. Okay, all the stickers are on. And so just quickly I want to point out, most of the stickers worked really well. Where they go on a flat surface, it's not a problem. And in most cases, it's around the eyes, the number that goes on the back, and sometimes some of the details on the jowls. Now, the black line's probably not a great example because it doesn't have that many stickers. It does have one on the forehead and a number on the back, and also some on the wings. But if we look at that blue line, you can see that this red here is a sticker, the yellow is a sticker. These little silver bolts here, or grey bolts, they're stickers. The eyes are stickers. There's a sticker on the top here. So there's actually quite a few sort of stickers that have to go on, and of course the number on the back as well. But they look reasonably good. Like I really can't complain that much. The only area where I've really had any issues is where I've got to fold it around the sides there. It's actually not sticking particularly well because I guess the angle's too sharp or something, but that's literally the only one that I've had any sort of real issues with. All the rest of them seem to go down pretty well. So next thing is to go through the transformation process. Time for combining all the lines to make Golion. So the instructions around the transformation are pretty straightforward. You start off with the red and green line. So I'm just going to do it for the red line, and it's exactly the same process for the green one. So first of all, take the weapon out of the mouth, close up the mouth, fold away the tail. So this little door in here, as I suspected earlier, tail goes in there, that closes up. Then we push the head in. Okay, so it's up tight against the the shoulders there. Then we fold up all the legs. Okay, so now we take out the little connector part here. I find you need something to sort of lever it out. It's a little bit tight in there. So okay, because that will make up the one of the arms, and then we have the green line as well. Alright, so next onto the blue line. So again, the first step you need to do is take out the weapon from the mouth. Close that up for now. Now these don't have sort of doors to open and close. You just simply, fold up the tail as such, like that. And now we fold up the arms. We need to move the head up a little bit. So the front arms sort of fold up. So this kind of makes a bit of the heel of the foot. Okay, so it sort of folds up like that. And then these back ones just fold all the way in like so. Now, there is, they sort of, you can sort of make it stand with using the small lion head, but it does look a bit strange. So what I'm going to do is later on in the instructions, it actually tells you to take this head off and replace it with the larger one. Okay. There's also this little heel part in the back here, which helps give it sort of stability, but that's essentially the leg. Okay, so we have the blue and the yellow. Next thing is the black line. So again, we will relieve him of his weapon. We fold the tail in. So it just folds over itself like so. And then we rotate the front arms all the way over, like so. And fold this out. This is almost like what you see in the anime, as far as the way the Golion combines. Straightens out the back legs here. Then we open up these little doors on the side here. Okay, and fold these bits under, like so. Okay, just fold those away. And then we close up the doors again. We fold out the wings and flip them over the shoulders like so. Okay, and then they will rotate out. Let's see. Alright, so for the head, of course, we have to have the jaw open and the face folded down. We have the ears coming out. It's definitely starting to look like Golion or Voltron now. Okay, then we put on the arms, and of course we need to make sure they're around the right way. So the right arm is the red line, and left arm is the green line. Okay, next thing we do, turn it around and we slot the legs into, so I need the yellow line first. So they slot in. That seems like a pretty positive fit. That's actually pretty good. And then the blue line. On this side. Okay. It's actually looking pretty good. I think it does make a difference having the bigger feet. It does stand up pretty well. He is pretty poseable, that's for sure. So you can sort of get the dynamic poses. Yeah, he does have knees that articulate hips, or the legs and the hips are allowed to, go out, so you can have quite a wide sort of action stance. Yep, that's pretty good. Alright, there's one little piece we need to add, which is this little black piece which goes onto his backside, and that covers up his tail. And it looks like there is also an action base connector point on the underside of his pelvis. So that's cool. If you want him sort of in flight, you can use an action base to do that. Okay, finally we have the way the weapons attach. So they have attachment points, which means they can sort of go into the hand, and they hold really tight, so that's pretty cool. Okay, how does this sword connect? Okay, so the sword does have a plug in it as well, so he holds the sword really quite well. And then finally we have some weapon. Okay, it goes in his other hand, of course it does. Okay, so it goes. Okay. So overall, this is a really cool kit. I've built a couple of Moderoid kits now, and I really like their, the way they sort of do their models. This is really cool in the fact that there's so much parts, colour separation, which I keep going on about, but it is a really cool thing. A couple of disappointments though is just having to swap out the feet, because the rest of the transformation is really cool. It's actually pretty accurate to the anime as well. So, that's a little bit disappointing, but given that most of the time I'm going to have it posed as Golion, it's not a big drama. Anyway, on with the beauty shots, and until the next video, I'll catch you later.